What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Gruesome Garage, and today we're going to dive into something that is very important to Cherokees and that every single stock Cherokee lacks, and that is headlights. As you guys can see here, these are not the stock headlights, and don't worry, I did not spend the money on real truck lights. These are truck light knockoffs off of eBay. They were 80 bucks, and for the time being, they've been working great. Now, somebody just messaged us and asked us to review their set of lights. So I've seen a lot of these lights on Facebook and stuff, and we're gonna test them out and see how they compare, not only to stock headlights, but to these headlights. Let's get to it. Now, these headlights right here, like I said before, we were given the opportunity to review them. I'm not getting paid for this, or we're not getting paid for this, so, you know, we're gonna give you our honest review. Here is the paperwork that comes with it. It says that they are 4x4 flit sticks, or however you would pronounce it, FLSTC. Very simple on how to wire them. Typical Chinesium instructions. They work, but they don't work great. And it looks like they also have a ton of professional advice warnings, even though it's just one plug. Now let's show you guys how easy it is to put these in Cherokees. I'm going to show you how easy it is to put it in this one. And then we're going to go to the newer style front clip, and we're going to show you how easy they are to pop in those too. You like Cherokees. I like Cherokees. You guys should subscribe to the channel. All we do is Cherokees here. There's a little custom of a Cherokee. We got a little less custom outside. But guess what? We do Cherokees. And we notice that most of our viewers are not subscribed. So I'm gonna say it again. If you like Cherokees, just subscribe. Now, these headlights, before we put them in, we're gonna show you the quality of them and get down to brass tacks. They look pretty decent. Looks like they have some aluminum back housing, but the front seems like it's plastic. Now, that's not a problem, but just like every other piece of plastic, in time, it's gonna yellow. So that's a little cheap, but it'll work if you keep it clean. Now, as you saw my headlights outside, the truck lights, I personally like the design of those better because they look more like a stock housing, like the sealed beams. These have more of that, you know, Megatron, gaudy look, and to most people, they like that, but personally, I do not like that. But it doesn't really matter. We're gonna see if the proof is in the pudding and see if these actually perform better, because with the truck light, it looks like they are just, you know, a reflective housing that the light shines on. This actually has projectors. So I'm curious to see if this is gonna shine better, or is it gonna have a stronger beam, a more focused beam. Can't wait to find out tonight. We're gonna start with the easier one to show you the ease of install. They're both pretty easy, but the newer style seems to be easier. I know, guys, this isn't a full grill, but I promise it still has all the guts. So what you're gonna start is, you see these two little holes in the corner? That one is missing it because the black plastic, or the back of the plastic broke. But up to here, we got Phillips head screw. We're gonna take that out. You're gonna take this one out if it exists, and you're gonna pull this housing right off. From there, it's super easy. You're gonna see 1, 2, 3, 4 more screws. That one's missing also. But you're gonna take those screws out, you're gonna pull this ring, and we're gonna get to the light. Now, a lot of times, guys love to strip these. I haven't taken these out. This clip came off of a junkyard. Looks like we got one. See if we can get this one. Yep, looks like we're gonna have no problem with that. Now, if you don't want to take those off, there's a secret. You can bend this down and the headlight will just fall out. We gotta save these because we're gonna use these later. So let's put this down and show you how easy it is to put this guy in. It seems like that it's supposed to sit like this. It's got dot on the top, So we're gonna place it like this, and then when we turn on the headlights, we'll see if it's right or not. It's easy enough to swap around if it isn't. Now maybe this metal trim ring isn't as distorted as mine was, but it seems like these headlights fit a lot better than the fake truck lights that I put in my Jeep. It fits super nice in the trim and it holds itself up. I really had to force mine in when I got mine. It also fits perfectly in the back housing too. No scraping and plenty of room for the back wire. Now with the trim ring on, let's see how it looks. These headlights really don't look bad. You know, it kind of hides all the projector with the black back housing. Stock, not stock. So let's show you guys now how to put the headlights in this right here. It's just about as easy as the other ones, except for instead of 2 screws, it's 4. There's gonna be one up here, one down here, and you gotta take this orange marker out. So we're gonna pull those apart, and with my Jeep, it's not as easy, because sadly, this stupid bumper's on. Last time I did this, I cracked the housing, but I bet if you're a little careful with it, you wouldn't have to crack the housing. Doesn't help also that, you know, these housings are about 30 years old. So we got that out, that's free now. We're gonna pull this one screw out. I'm missing the bottom screw because, like I said before, 30 years old. A couple things snap here and there. And that screw down there broke into the fiberglass, and this thing gets held in well enough that I really don't care. Let's see if we can get this out without completely destroying it. With one hand. Oh. Okay, got her out. Like I said before, it's just as simple as the other one. There's 2 screws up there hiding, and there's 2 screws down there. Let's get these things swapped and see how they look. Let's do a quick comparison. There's the new one that we put in, and this is the old boy. Let's switch the new one onto there. I'll show you a quick test of the lights and how they work, and then we're gonna show you the true test tonight. We're gonna take all 3 different headlights, stocks, the ones that this guy sent me, AMZ, and we're gonna try these Amazons out too. We're gonna have an Amazon shootout. Who's gonna win? Now, before we finish installing these lights into my Jeep, I wanna go through all 3 of them, compare them, and see, you know, what looks the best physically before we install them. This is the one that we were given, and to me, honestly, I have to say that this one looks like the best construction. The nice thing about this is it's a little shallower than the other ones, so if you need a little clearance, if you're shoving stuff under your hood, this is gonna help out a little bit. Another thing is just the way that the connection is made. It's so much nicer. If you look at this one, it's got the heat-treated wire with that stupid thread wax stuff on it, and I really don't like how it's mounted into the actual light itself. It's just smoothed in there, and it's a perfect place for, you know, those wires to be stressed, and you can cut them, and it just goes downhill from there. This over here, a lot nicer, a lot better for stress, especially if you're off-roading and this is shaking around. That's just gonna turn into a disaster down there. And obviously, here's the stock for comparison. It's just 3 nodules for the connections, and it's sealed, and they are the worst. They are so dim, but you can get them at the auto parts store for 20 bucks. This light right here was 70 bucks, and this right here on Amazon, if you want to buy it, the link will be in the description. They are 85. So, is it worth the price point? Let's finish throwing them in the Jeep, and we're gonna test these bad boys out. Something I'd also like to share about these truck lights, or fake truck lights, is they work just as good as real truck lights, and I have had them next to other pair of truck lights just to compare a real set. And they work exactly the same, the beam pattern's the same, the high beam's the same. The only difference that I've noticed is when you have these headlights on in your vehicle, you cannot listen to the radio. It is absolutely crazy. I noticed it the first time driving it at night. I had the radio on, and all of a sudden I hear when I turned the headlights on. I was like, what's going on? Shut the headlights off. All of a sudden, I get the radio back. I was like, shoot, that's why they're so much cheaper. I don't think that's warrants, you know, the $200 price difference. But, hey, if you want your radio, I guess you're going to have to buy the real deal ones. So, I'm curious if the ones that we got over here that are already installed in my Jeep are going to give us the same issue. Another nice thing I forgot to say about the new headlights are these right here. Now, for Cherokees, the wiring is correct. But if the wiring is not correct, you can plug this into the back of the headlight and choose which wire goes where. Now, another easy way to do that is if you see these, you don't need that connector necessarily. Right here, they have little tabs on them. If you pinch those little tabs in with a flathead screwdriver, you can pull these prongs out, rebend that tab, and click it back into your spot. So either way, if it doesn't work for you, you have two options. Let's take a look now and see how the new headlights look in the new Jeep. Now that we got them installed, let's check out to see how well they work. Obviously, it's during the day, like I said before, but I just want to see what illuminates. It looks like, I don't know if you can see very well, but we have the two side pods illuminated, and we have the upper projector. I think they look pretty mean. A little too much like Megatron for me, but hey, it's a clean install. After that, don't forget to grab yourself a beer. You deserve it. Well, guys, I drove this beast home from the garage with the new headlights, and first impressions, I have to say, are pretty great. The beam spread, I really like, and not only that, but guess what? I can listen to the radio. With the old headlights, like I said, it just created too much static and you couldn't hear a thing. This is what they look like during the nighttime. I like them a lot. I think my first impressions were they look too much like Megatron, but after looking at them in the nighttime, it really doesn't look that bad. I'll show you what they look like with the high beams on. Now, really the only difference between the low beam and the high beam is this upper projector's on and these two outer little slims on, but it really does make a big difference. But don't worry, guys, we're still going to show you a comparison between the three. So to really test out these headlights, I thought it'd be a smart idea to do a full comparison. And instead of swapping headlights out in my Jeep, I thought it'd be a smart idea to have 1, 2, 3 Jeeps with different headlights. So we're going to do a comparison of all 3 of these lights on different Jeeps. We're going to start off with obviously the crappy headlights first. This is our plow Jeep and it's just stock headlights. No reason to upgrade these because we always use the plow lights anyways. So as you can see, the beam is okay, but you can't really see much in front of you. And that's just the low beam. Let's put on the high beam. Oh, so much better. So obviously, this is a big reason why people want to change their headlights in the stock Cherokee, because the sealed beams are just absolute garbage. Now we're going to test out the ones I got for my Cherokee. Right here, the truck light LEDs. The knockoffs, of course. And we're going to see how well they compare to the ones in my girlfriend's Jeep over there. The new ones. I put them in my girlfriend's Jeep because honestly, they work the best and they don't interfere with the radio, so you guys can see for yourselves. Time for round 2. These, like I said, are the truck lights, the knockoffs, and obviously you guys can see that they have a much better beam pattern than the stock ones, and they bolt right up. The only concern I have with these, like I said, I like the look of them, but they don't work with your radio if you want to be cheap about it. If you want to spend a couple $100 a pair for them, you know, or I mean each for them, then go for it. But there's them with the high beams on. There's them with the low beams. Like I said, these work exactly like the real truck lights. The only problem is if you want to listen to the actual radio, the frequency is going to be terrible. It sounds like... So, you got a dose of this. Let's get to the main event. The real Jeep. We have these bad boys right here. Dusty, but they absolutely work great. And the beam is absolutely phenomenal. Crisp and clear. It's not blotchy like the ones on my Cherokee. And you can listen to the radio with them on. There's no interference whatsoever. Mind the beep, but here's the regular lights, and we got the high beams on too. That is absolutely phenomenal. So, guys, it looks like obviously we know which ones are the clear-cut winners. These. So, you know, if I wasn't so picky about it, I would have definitely bought these to begin with. But I'm so picky. I like the truck lights. But hey, these work great in my girlfriend's Jeep. She's not picky, and it looks absolutely great. Works better than, honestly, any other headlight that I've put in a Jeep. I've messed with those HIDs. I've messed with the H4 replacements and then putting LEDs in there. And it seems like these lights have been the best. So, guys, the link is in the description if you want to buy them. Like I said, they're obviously the clear-cut choice. Even from here, you can see how well they light it up. So, tune in next time, guys. And maybe you'll see this thing done. Maybe you won't, because it's never getting done.